Well, good day, viewers, and welcome to the Sport Trap Show. I'm your host, Brian Munango, updating you on the latest sports news. Well, before we do get into the hit list, just some of the things that did transpire this weekend that I got really excited about. I think Angola are the kings of the COSAFA Cup after winning against South Africa, winning that match 3-0, another comfortable win for the Angolan side. Last year, they defeated us in the final 5-0, and this year it looks like South Africa fell to the sword and they lost 3-0 in that final. UR3 final was also another interesting one with Leinster claiming victory in that cup final against the Blue Bulls. And then the FIFA Club World Cup, Bayern Munich scoring 10 goals past Auckland City, and Paris Saint-Germain scoring 4 goals against Atletico Madrid. I think it's setting the mood very well. Tomorrow we look forward to a big match as South African Mamelodi Sundowns might be facing Borussia Dortmund very soon in their group. So that's also something to look forward to. But enough of that. Let's get right into the hit list. So first up on the hit list, we have a look at African stars who have been announced as the winners of the Debmarine Premiership 2024-2025 season. Well, ever since Debmarine got on board with the Premier League and the NFA, African Stars have won this competition back to back, winning it 3 consecutive times. So huge congratulations to African Stars for winning the trophy there. If we have a look at the table, the story is better with the table, because you can see that the team on top, African Stars, didn't win it comfortably like they did last year. They only finished the league with 58 points, and Young African, the runner-ups, finished with 54. These two teams played against each other in the final match of the day, and the game ended 3-3. And then we have a look at the teams that are getting relegated, being Young Brazilians, Blue Boys, and Kuka Tops. Julinho Athletic just above the relegation zone, but if you can look at the points, a huge difference between the relegated sides and the team that's just above the relegation zone. Kuka Tops, the first team in the Debmarine Premiership to end the league with only 1 win. So they only won 1 game out of 30. That is very unfortunate for them. Hopefully they bounce back, but now we know that Rundu Chiefs will be the team that will be representing from Rundu in the Debmarine Premiership next season. So there's that to look forward to. And then on to our next story. While we still talk about football, the giants of football in Namibia, a club team that is known everywhere, very well known, Black Africa, have suffered another relegation again. Very unfortunate for this beautiful side. But if we have a look at the stats, the history, we all know that this side has been dominating in football. They won the league back to back again. As we saw in 2011, they were crowned the champions. 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2019. And then fast forward to 2023, they got relegated from the Premier League. In 2024, they were playing in First Division. And this year, it was announced that they are relegated from the First Division. So next season, 2026, they'll be participating in the Second Division. I don't know how the Black Africa supporters feel about this, but there is a lot of work that has to go into consideration for this team to go back to the Well, that's all I have for you on that one. Moving on to our second story, Adam Hartman was events for us this past weekend, one of them being road running that took place on Saturday in Swakopmund. So please do stay tuned as he has an interview for us.
Okay, Daniel, tell us what's happening here today.
So today we have the Lagoon Dream Run, and it's in Walvis Bay. So this is the first Team Flippy event in Walvis Bay, running event. We have 2-kilometer runners, we have 5-kilometer runners, 10 kilometers and 21. And it's slightly east windish. It's actually not too hot and not too windy. So it's going to be a nice challenge because it's going to be a bit dry, but I think everybody's going to have a rewarding experience after the race, and we're just going to have a lot of fun.
We're talking about how many people participating?
So actually crazy. The last event 1 month ago, we had around 140, 150, 160, and we doubled it for this event. So we have around almost over 300 participants for this one. So the Walvis community is really supporting the Team Flippy, and I think everybody is starting to just join us on this journey, and it's amazing to see.
You made reference to last week or last month's event, and now we have this event. Just quickly explain to us what is this all about?
So we have this event that is sponsored by Dioform and Radio Electric, and it's basically a series of running events. So last month we had our first event with these two companies they love to be involved with the sport, so we love to have them on board. Super friendly, we're really good relationship with them, and so this is the second series of the event.
Okay.
And yeah.
And what will be the outcome of it all?
So it's basically, we want to try to promote sports in Namibia. A lot of people are having fun. It's more of a fun event. So obviously there's prizes, we have medals, we have trophies for companies. So if companies take part, they can write under their company and they can earn points for their company. And we also have schools participating, so it's just the whole community coming together.
And here we have it at the lagoon. I mean, beautiful site. Why specifically here? Is it just because of the amazing location?
We also want to make things different, so we want to make it a tour, you know, have different venues, have different people, have different challenges. So because in real life we have the same challenges and we have to adapt. So I think this is the best venue we had so far, and I'm loving it really. And I think the participants are really excited and happy as well.
Daniel, thanks man, we look forward to that.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Cool.
Adam Hartman, they're just getting the information for us. He does have another story for us that has to do with motocross and I think go-karting. So we'll have a look at that right after the break. But for now, we'll be going for that advert break and I'll be seeing you right after this.
Taking flight has never been easier. Paratus is introducing Sky-Fi internet packages with speeds that will have you reaching for your seatbelts, starting from $500 Namibian excluding VAT per month, with speeds reaching up to 10 megabits per second. There's even a prepaid option where you can top up your Sky-Fi internet for just $15 Namibian per gigabyte. No contracts, no fuss. Visit your nearest Paratus branch to find out more. Or go to paratus.africa/Namibia to sign up online.
Always prepared, Paratus.
So the Motorsport Federation hosted one of their events down at the Swakopmund Rally, the go-karting venue in Swakopmund. That's where it took place. So Adam Hartman did catch up with one of the organizing committee of the motorsport, and this is what they had for us.
Okay. Mr. Jacobs, thanks for joining us. I'm a novice, okay? First of all, tell us what is happening here today, and then tell us a bit about the championship in general, and tell us about, we'll talk a bit about go-karting in Namibia, you know, what it is currently and the future thereof.
Okay, so today is leg 4 of the Namibian National Championship. There are 6 rounds this year. So the first 3 has taken place in Windhoek at the Tony Rist racetrack. And the next one is back in Windhoek, and then we come back here again before the end of the year. So go-karting is the grassroots of motorsport, and it's one of the only codes that will actually get you into Formula 1 or close to it.
Okay.
Because a go-kart behaves very similarly to a Formula 1 car. You know, the levels of grip, etc., and the way you pitch it in the corner, etc. Yeah. So this is where we start if you want to go to Europe. It's very expensive, I need to put that out there. But yeah, and karting has grown leaps and bounds in Namibia. When I first came to work here as the Secretary General from South Africa, we had 13 karts. You know, now we have nothing less than 30 karts, even more. You know, at some events we have 45, but it's also difficult because there's a lot of youngsters racing, so it clashes with their school programs, their school sport, etc. So it's a bit of swings and roundabouts, but you get the constants. There are those competitors that you will find at every event because they're chasing the championships.
Yeah. And how would you say Namibians measure up to international standards?
So we have Cecil Coates Jr. that's racing here today. He races in the Italian the Rock Cup final. Every year he's been there 2 years now, and he ranks 64th in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then we have other racers as well. We also have Zane Buton that went to the Rotax Cup final last year, and he also acquitted himself quite well. So yes, whilst we might not be on the high level that day, because the tracks are very different here. You know, the standard of the tracks, and we're trying to get investors to build a track here to CRK spec. So this is the best we have at the moment, but it doesn't detract from the talent that we have here.
Yeah.
So we got the Rotax Cup coming up next month, and there's 10, 15 riders that are going to represent Namibia. We go every year. So we have the two categories, so two different types of cars. We have the RFK, which is rock, and then you have the Rotax, which has been around for many years. And the FIA, which is our world governing body for motorsport, they support both.
Okay.
You know, so we have both here. It's in the last 3 years now that we have both in Namibia, because before it was only Rotax.
Yeah.
So you have a choice. You know, there are 3 different manufacturers in the world.
Yeah.
So yes, we do hold our own, and we actually have 2 racers. They twins, the Kayamo brothers. They have just been taken into the Kazoo Racing Academy in South Africa a couple of weeks ago. Yes. So yes, the Namibians are up there.
They're taking the sport
Yeah,
serious.
we can keep our heads up high, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have another success story here.
Yeah.
Tony Rist,
Yes,
that's riding in
yes.
one of the classes here.
Yeah.
She came out of our Girls on Track development program, where she drove a cart similar to the rental cart, which was donated to us by the FIA. And she's now racing. And
Okay.
in the last competition we had in Windhoek, she actually won 2 of her heats, you know.
wow.
So she's holding her own against the men. We
Yeah.
also have another very successful racer, Nikita Team in Namibia. I mean, she's also won races. In actual fact, she won a championship last year
Okay.
against the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a sport for men and women,
Yes.
young and old.
Young and old.
Yeah.
You'll see in the DD2 class, there are, I wouldn't say the older, the more mature competitors compared to the youngsters, because this is the only motorsport category in the world where you can start at the age of 5.
Wow.
Because the carts are specifically built
Yeah.
for youngsters, so that they can control the carts. So you'll see there's a couple of them here today. So that's where you start. You know, it's like
Adam Hartman, our respondent from the coast, making sure that we are updated with events happening down there. So we appreciate that as well. We'll be going to the coast right after the break, as we have the Rugby Volvichas match and the Barbarians that took place on Saturday at Narki Park. So please do stay tuned. We'll be having a look at that right after the break.
Slow internet should be a headache of the past, yet many Namibians have connections that just aren't fast. We have a solution that might set you free. It's called Mobile LTE, and it comes with real speed. You'll enjoy up to 50 megabytes per second from just $300 Namibian a month, and free internet browsing after midnight till 6. When it comes to staying connected, this is it. Visit Paratus.Africa/Namibia or our branches nationwide and experience the thrill of better internet with Paratus by your side.
Always prepared. Paratus.
So for this past weekend, we were down at the coast. We had a good time at the coast. I'm not going to lie about that. Volvichas took on Uganda in our main game, but the NRU made sure that spectators were kept entertained, as the coastal teams also formed 2 teams called the Barbarians and took on each other. So we do have a short clip that just shows how the boys were happy after the match. So let's have a look at that.
If you wanna join the team, join the coastal team. If you wanna join the team, if you wanna join the team, join the coastal team.
some of the NRU Premier League champions spotted in that team. I can see Zulu down there. Rayshon is also a part of that team. So those were the curtain raisers before the main match itself. So now please sit back, relax yourselves, and let's have a look at the highlights. But before we do get to the highlights, Dino Balotti was also present at the match. So we'll be having a look at that before we get to the highlights.
Ja, so die twee spanne wat dan hier so aantree. Ja, jong minister van sport. Sien ons ook daar in beeld, meneer Dino Balotti. Wat dan bekend gestel gaan word aan die twee spanne van die eregaste.
We have the highlights of the second half for the match. Danko Burger there. And this was a great passage of play. And that's the assist from Jurgen Meyer to his colleague at Wanderers and here for Namibia, Danko Burger. Daisy first half's highlights.
And unfortunately the kick going wide by the number 10 fly-off. It could have proved costly in the match, but the last minute penalty was the decider.
And there was the almost moment for Oliver Kurz on his debut for that interception. And there is they played a good game, John Yasin Wasingwa.
Him and his scrum-off partner, they both had excellent matches. Unfortunately, that there has to be a winner, but you know, they pushed and did their best. Fortunately, ball not going through the posts.
This is the build-up to that second Janko Burger try.
Came through at speed, and that was it. Nobody saw him. Was even too fast for the cameraman. He just came through and flashed through everybody and dotted down. Coming through at speed, can't beat that. Simple conversion.
And that was the halftime score for Namibia leading up. And Uganda came back guns blazing in the second half, John.
Absolutely, you can't fault them. Penalty kick with the wind. That was 12-6, and then they popped up with a lovely try.
And there's the try by Uganda.
Everybody celebrating before the referee puts his hand up and blows the whistle, but they were confident, they knew it.
They were certain about their try. And here's the starman, Lucas Walker.
Liam Walker.
Liam Walker, he was good. He averaged 9 points coming from the bench, John.
Absolutely, so a vital man. But now, who in future, who do you start? Do you start Liam Walker, or do you keep with your starting 15? You know,
I think that's a thing Zane Kirshner and his team needs to discuss. Looking, because obviously he made sure of the kicks when he had to put on points on the board, and that's where Yasin Waswa lacked. With vital
accuracy.
Moments,
yeah,
vital moments. He had 5 conversions. He only did 2.
Yep, and then the Namibians celebrating. So they went 1 point ahead with the conversion, and 2 points, 3 points ahead. It was exciting times. And a clearance kick, but Namibia managed to retain control.
That was the incident where he took the player out of the air, where he got the yellow card. Aaron and replacement scrum of Aaron Oregod, who finished this game with a yellow card.
Liam Walker with his attempt. Unfortunately, his long-range attempt that just failed to go over the crossbar. But a resurgent Namibian scrum going forward, but try. And everybody happy.
Okay, from myself, Bjorn and John, it was a pleasure bringing you the game. Goodbye and until next time.
Guest
So we're
lined up.
joined by Baron. He is the captain of the Uganda team. Look, you guys came in as underdogs into this game, and I think you guys surprised a lot of people with how you played today. How proud are you of your team, and where do you think things could have gone a little bit different for you guys?
Yeah, first of all, let me congratulate the Namibia rugby team for giving us that contest. But yeah, I'm happy for the boys, Ugandan boys, because we're trying to put things together, and the results really show that we are almost there. We haven't yet polished everything, but we are almost there. Going back home, we shall review the video and see where we went wrong. But like you said, we came as underdogs, but it was a good show for us and a good contest for us, which is a plus for us.
Okay. In the Africa Cup, you guys are in a tough group, facing the likes of Zimbabwe, Kenya in the same group. But I'm sure this should be like a confidence booster for you guys, because you guys did come from the back, came back into the game, played really well. So what are a few of the positives that you can take from the game?
Yeah, it was like I said earlier on, it was a tight contest, and we expected the physicality, and we brought up the physicality. At the end of the day, we fell short by 3 points, but good one for the boys. Like I said, we are going to go back, review the video, see where we went wrong, then polish on that as we get ready for Rugby World Cup qualifiers. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and good luck with the Africa Cup tournament.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with cricket news first. It is a South African cricket team that did brilliantly over the weekend. The South African Proteas men team winning the ICC Test Championship, and that was played at Lords against difficult opponents. It is the Proteas that played against Australia. It was a 2-year process to qualify for the final. The two top seeded players after 2 years of Test cricket, South Africa and Australia playing in the once-off final. So South Africa winning the first ICC title, major title in their history. They've had a few close second places and semi-final losses in 50 over and 20 over cricket, but now they Test Championship winners, so a big accolade for the Proteas men's team. Good performances by Aiden Markram. He scored 136 runs, so that was in the second innings of South Africa's chasing a big total in the second innings to win. And also Kagisa Rabada, that also did brilliant with the ball, took 5 wickets in the first innings, and also Themba Bavuma, inspiring captain, also 66 runs in his second innings. So South Africa, well-deserved that's the ICC World Test Championship winners for this year, 2025. On to golf news. It was the US Open played, that was at Oakmont in Pittsburgh. It was a rainy fourth round. There was rain interruption. It was difficult conditions, but in the end, American JJ Spaun, he won. He birdied the last 2 holes, a credible achievement with difficult conditions. He was the only player under par. He finished with 1 under par for the 4 rounds. All the other players way over par. Second position was Robert McIntyre of Scotland. He was 1 over par for his 4 rounds. And other big names, Scotty Scheffler, world number 1, was 3 over par. In the top 10, also John Rahm. Tristan Lawrence of South Africa was in contention going into the 4th round, but fell away, unfortunately, in the difficult conditions. But the winner then for the 2025 US Open golf title, JJ Spaun of America, for his first major win. Closing off today's international sports news with the end. The big drama was that was accident on track. Unfortunately, it is Lando Norris that had to retire. He had his suspension broken. It was his own mistake, but Piastri went on to get 4th position, so he cemented his lead now in the overall points position to 198 points over Norris on 176. Max Verstappen on 155